Hey, and welcome to Keisha in these streets. I, of course, am Keisha. On this channel, we speak to travelers and travel agents about the business and the pleasure of all things travel. You'll get tips and tricks, reviews, travel vlogs. You'll also get, of course, the business of being a travel agent and whatever is going on in our current news. It is a safe space for my 40 and up crowd, my empty nesters, and my people whose nests have always been empty. So it is catered to a more adult channel and we discuss adult things. And today I wanted to come because as you see, I'm a little more dressed up than normal, coming from brunch, and there was a lot of discussion about Mexico and is it safe? Is it safe to go abroad? A lot of people are afraid. And I kind of just wanted to go over a few tips that I have as a solo traveler, as someone who's traveled for 20 plus years, of things that you may want to think about, things that may help you, not just abroad, not just in Mexico, but whether you're going to New Orleans, whether you're going to Miami, whether you're going to Tennessee, just things that may help you. Some things will be more, you know, catered to abroad, and some things will be very much domestic as well. All right, and if you see me looking to the left, it's because I got a whole lot of notes for y'all, and I can't remember everything with my 40 plus self. All right, so the first thing I always want to tell people is, regardless of if you're on vacation abroad, domestic, a cruise, resort, wherever it is, be aware of your surroundings. That does not just mean know who's near you. You definitely need to know that. But you also need to be aware of what the laws are. If you're on a cruise, yes, you may be able to smoke or you may be able to partake in some things in your state, but on the cruise, it's not allowed. Some foreign countries, they are very much religious, and that means that you can't openly show affection to the same state. So you need to be aware of not just who's around you, what they're doing, what's going on, but you also need to be aware of where you're going, what the laws are, what the traditions are, and just know that everywhere can be unsafe. And I say this because someone literally just sent me today a video of something that happened on a cruise where a young girl was essayed. And 2 o'clock in the morning, something she normally does when she's at home, she got up, she wanted to write in her book, so she decided to go out by herself on the deck and just write, because everyone feels like a cruise is just the safest thing possible. Nothing ever happens. Things happen everywhere. And I don't say that to be afraid, because I travel solo, but you have to be aware of what's going on. I tell parents all the time, watch your children. Don't think just because you're on this floating city and they can't get off that things can't happen while they're on. All right. So very much be aware of your surroundings. The next thing is, if you're going abroad or places you're not very familiar with, there's a website the U.S. government has for you that you can check the travel advisory. I know that was one of the things they said about the situation in Mexico. There was a travel advisory saying, hey, this might not be where you want to go right now. And take that into consideration. They're letting you know for a reason that it's unsafe. So, and being unsafe doesn't mean the whole country is unsafe. They didn't say all of Mexico is unsafe. They said these specific areas right now are heightened because of the issues they're having. Those people weren't in Cozumel. They weren't in Cancun. They weren't in Tulum. They weren't in those places where tourists normally go. And most countries that are run by tourism very much take care of their tourists. Not saying things don't ever happen to their tourists, but trust me, they don't want to have a stigma of we're the unsafe place to go, because people won't go. I mean, airplanes and the internet, it's not like years ago where Mexico was that foreign place that, oh my God, I'm going. The world is our oyster now. We go everywhere. So no country wants to be on that list of nobody wants to go there. And so that's another thing. Just pay attention, maybe reschedule that trip, get your trip insurance. because if something comes up and you no longer want to go, can't go, you want to make sure you're taken care of. So always, always, always get your trip insurance. Okay. And if you wanted to know, the website is travel.state.gov. And that is going to be where you can go to look up the trip advisories. If you want them to, if you know you're going somewhere and you just want to stay connected, travel.state.gov/stay connected. They'll send you text messages because, again, things happen overnight. I knew someone who was in Egypt having a wonderful time. He had actually moved, and out of nowhere, there was unrest, and there were fires, and there was, all of the things, and he needed to get out. So things can happen quickly anywhere, anywhere. All right, and there's also a STEP program, Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. It's a free service you can sign up for where you're connected with the embassy. They know your schedule. They know where you're going. The embassies, if you're not aware, is basically where you would go if you lost your passport, where you would go if, something happened, you're stuck and you need to figure out a way to get home. You would contact the embassy and see, what you can do or what's going on, how they can help you. A lot of times when people need to get out of a country quickly, the embassy is the one that's helping them. So you want to have those numbers. You want to have the number for the embassy. If you're out of the country, I recommend you get a SIM card from that country, because if you need to call 911, if you need to call the emergency, because of course it's not 911 everywhere, but if there's an emergency, a SIM card for that country is going to be able to quickly get you to the right people. So that's another little tidbit. All right. And I personally like door locks or door stops on my door because I'm paranoid. You can get them off of Amazon, and they just add a level of safety for me. Because we all have heard, or I have heard the stories of, your door coming open in the middle of the night or something crazy going on. So I like door stops and door locks, and that is whether I'm domestic or I am international. Just love them. It just makes me feel good. Another thing is, if you don't speak the language of the country, I keep saying company, Lord, I feel like I'm at work. But if you don't speak the language of the country you're going to, one thing you want to do is download Google Translator. Google Translator is going to be your best friend. You can literally talk into it and it'll speak back to you. You can, they can hold it and talk and it'll tell you what they're saying. It is, I believe, somewhere around 200 countries that, it translates. So that is amazing, because I'm not going to lie, I don't speak any other languages than English. And my English probably isn't even the best. Because I'm born and raised in America. Everybody else learns it correctly. All right. And so then you also have, just like Google Translator, the foreign dollar is different. Even in Mexico, the foreign dollar is different. So if you're using foreign currency, there is a currency converter that you can actually put. I'm a phone person. I'm a gadget person. So a lot of things are going to be gadgets. But there is a currency converter, XC currency converter you can actually get, and it'll help you convert your money if you need that. When we're talking about money, I always tell people, don't take your debit cards, take your credit cards. And there's a few reasons for that. First of all, credit card is not the money that you need, that you're usually going to use to pay your rent, your phone bill, X, Y, and Z with. If something happens, that money is not being held, because yes, your bank is going to help you. Yes, every bank has fraud protection, all of that, but I've worked in banking. Okay. It may be a 10-day hold on your money. You would rather be a 10-day hold on your credit card. You want to take more than one credit card, because if something happens to that one credit card, you want to back up. Okay. Also, it's usually easier to get things done if there's a fraud issue on a credit card, because that's their money. That's not your money. That's their money. So they're going to research it. They're going to get it done quick. Okay. So I always recommend, what you do is up to you, but I recommend credit cards over debit cards. Also, credit cards, you're going to have your rewards. You're going to have your perks. You're going to have your this. You're going to have your that. It just makes more sense to use a credit card while you travel than a debit card. Again, safety. You may be able to, excuse me, y'all. But if your money that's in the bank is not being held up and something happens, you may be able to find a bank that you can go to in case of an emergency. Hey, especially if you use larger banks, Bank of America, those type of banks, a lot of times they are international. And depending on where you're at, you may be able to actually get some cash out, or, have somebody transfer you cash somewhere. Either way, use the credit card. All right. And if you're traveling solo, guided tours are great. You can go on to Viator, you can go on to Airbnb Experience, but guided tours will help you while you're solo, even if it's just maybe two of you. It'll help you be able to be with a crowd of people and see those things in a safer environment. I like to go solo, but that doesn't mean I always want to be by myself. I like people. I just don't always have people to go with. I can't let others stop me from vacationing, but I do want to be on vacation around people to talk to. So guided tours is wonderful. Let's see. And also you can talk to, if you're on a guided tour, and let's say the guided tour is only 2 to 4 hours. You can ask your tour guide, hey, where are good places to go? Where are safe places to go? Where shouldn't I go, in this area, or X, Y, and Z? You can ask them, because now that's a safe person most of the time. Again, trust no one 100%. You may not even want to tell the guided tour person that you're by yourself. You may just want to say, my friends are in the hotel room, because I don't believe in telling nobody you're by yourself. Not the taxi driver, not the Uber driver, maybe not even the hotel person if he acting a little funny. You have to, again, be aware of your environment. I personally don't like people to ask me too many questions. Just call it my background. You ask me 3 questions in a row, now all of a sudden I feel like I'm being interrogated. What's going on? So you have to use your discernment, but be very careful of what you say when you're out in these countries, even if it's 2 or 3 of you all, because you're in a country full of people. So, well, you might say, well, it's 3 of us. You know what I'm saying? We can have fun. We can da-da-da-da-da. But it's 20 of them. You know what I'm saying? You have to be careful. Something I, do very well with in my old age that I probably didn't do great with in my younger age is also make sure you are not too intoxicated when you are out in these streets, whether it's domestic, foreign, whether you're in Alabama, or you're in Cannes, you're in Turkey, wherever you're at, because you need to be aware of your environment. And of course, if you're not fully functional, you're not as aware, you don't know what's going on, never let anybody go get a drink for you and bring it back. All those things they tell you or should have told you. That is 100% regardless of where you go to. Also, I'm a person who likes to keep portable chargers, because, phones die, and I don't want to have to rely on, can you please let me use your phone? Can you, whatever. So keep chargers, keep cords, understand again where you're going to, because the cord that works in the US is not going to work in London. So know what type of items you need for the country you're going to. Universal plugs, whatever you need. Just make sure you have, you're able to be functional in those other countries. So do your research. If you don't want to do your research, you can always come to someone like me, a certified travel agent, and we'll do the research for you, give you a guided plan, make sure that you are well taken care of, and you'll have someone to call. We won't go there right now, though. All right. And, I said use credit cards. If you're going to carry cash, I always say split your money up all over you. Never put anything in your back pocket, but never have a big wad. I know a lot of people like to pull out those wads of money. You are a sitting duck, whether you're in LA or whether you're in Cancun or whether you're in wherever you're at, your corner store. If you pull out that big wad in this day and age, you looking to get got. Okay? So split your money up. There are things, especially for, ladies or men who are out of the country and you need to have a large amount for whatever reason. There are body wallets that you can put that kind of go on. They have some that's almost like, ladies, our girdles that we put our money in. And I love a good crossbody, a good fanny pack. I don't care if anybody feel like a fanny pack is ugly. My money is right here. If something happen, it's gone. And all my, I got one that can carry, my phones and my whatever. It's right here. You can cut it and you can run, but I don't know if you can be able to get through all these little humps and bumps I got, baby. I'm gonna be looking at you like, what you thought you was gonna do? What? But you never. The book bag is nice, but if it's not one that locks, it's not one that's tear proof, then it could be a liability, because the pickpocketers know. They know how to get close enough to you, hold your bag up. They fumbling through, you don't even realize it. They know how to cut and run. So if your bag is back here, too much to the side, they know how to slip that thing on out. So you want to make sure that everything says, I ain't with it. You ain't getting this. And never put everything in one. So all your money shouldn't be in your bag. Put some of it in your sock. Put some of it in your bra. Put some of it in, whatever. But everything shouldn't be in one place. I also recommend taking a picture, or not a picture, having paper. Have a paper copy of your passport. Have a paper copy of, or something written down with your address of your hotel. Important numbers, embassy, 911, hotel, whatever. You want paper because if God forbid something happened, and you want it in a different place than your purse. God forbid something happened, you want to be able to say, this is where I need to go. This is where, because we don't remember things these days. Everything is electronic, and we have been saving things. Most people don't even remember their phone number of the person that they call the most. And that's just it. So you want to have, and God forbid something happen. If you got that paper copy of your ID, you go to the embassy, they may be able to work it out where you can get home. You want to have those things. Use your safe. But again, I wouldn't put everything in the safe either, just because I'm paranoid and I don't trust nobody. Just me. Let me see if I missed anything. Share your location. So I moved out of state a few years ago. And the first thing I did when I got to my new home was share my location with people back home, because I was fully aware that I was out of state by myself. And, I work a lot. I may not always be able to call, but, I had two people that could always pick up, and I had one person who did it all the time. She would tell me, oh yeah, I know. And I didn't even think about it as I went forward. I ended up moving back home, but I vacation a lot. Again, I vacation alone a lot. I would talk to her sometimes. She'd be like, yeah, I was a little worried. You was in one place for a long time. I was like, is she okay? And I remembered, oh yeah, because you got my, you got my footsteps. I'm okay with that. Share your location with family and friends. Contact them often. Hey, I'm here this morning. Looks good. I'm doing this at 3:00, doing that because that may save your life. It may be a situation of, let's not say somebody kidnapped you. Let's just say, you told everybody you were going to be at the Opera House and something happens at the Opera House. Now the police, they can call, check, hey, is she okay? If they need to come to the hospital, a lot of times we want to go off the grid, and that is great, but you also want to make sure, if you're someone who is worried, not everybody's worried about safety. If you're someone who's worried about safety, you want to make sure that you have your ducks covered. So share your location, check in, let them know, because, if your family knows you check in 3 times a day and you miss that third time, they are going to be on it, and time matters. All right. Let's see. Don't wear expensive jewelry, expensive bags, expensive. I mean, how can I say this? Money speaks for itself. That's it. You do not have to show everything you have when you're on these vacations, because a lot of places, even places we look at as expensive, Greece, for example, is known for pickpocketing and snatching runs and whatever. We look at Greece like, oh my God, it's luxury, it's ambiance. and they look at it like, we need this money. Our economy fell a few years ago. If we need to take yours, we gonna do it, okay? So you ain't got to show everything you got. It's okay to take that, instead of taking the I ain't a name girl, so I don't know, Prada bag. It's okay to take the knockoff Michael Kors or the just all leather Prada bag that doesn't have Prada all on it, okay? It's okay not to wear your big jewelry. It's okay to, if you're going to throw on some jewelry, let it be the little stuff you picked up at the Chinese store. So if they grab it and snatch it, you ain't hurting. You don't care. You laughing like, girl, that was $5.99. I'll give me another one when I get back home. Like, have it. You need it more than me. And it just doesn't draw attention to you. Because a lot of times, if you're out of country, you don't want people to really be looking at you. You want to be able to go through and not be the person they have the eyes on. Because I feel, most of the stuff you hear about is real. It's happened to somebody. When we see these movies and, we're like, ooh, trafficked. Yeah, it's happened to somebody. You just don't want that to be you. So you don't want to be the person they're really eyeballing, okay? It's okay to be in the background sometimes. And let's see, notify your financial institution, your credit cards, your banks. Let them know you're going out of country, because the worst feeling in the world, and most of us travelers that have been traveling for years have had this happen at least one time, and you learn. The worst feeling in the world is to go somewhere, anywhere, and you have money and you are spending it. And when it's time to get that register, or they take that check, or they take that card, they come back and say your card didn't go through. That is the worst feeling in the world, especially when you got it. You know what I'm saying? It's different when you like, I hope it goes through today. I hope it worked. I think I got it. Those times you like, oh man. But when you got it and it don't go through, it's just a different feeling. So make sure you notify them, because you don't want them to block your card. It's a whole rigmarole to go through, and it just don't feel good. It doesn't. Let me see what else. I think I've gone through enough. I mean, I've been talking y'all ear off. This was not, again, I think I say this the last one I know I said it. This was not what I expected to talk about this week, but there was too much conversation not to talk about it. And I didn't really see much online about it. I want to say my condolences and, rest in heaven to the people that, had to go through the incident in Mexico. And I'm not saying this is their fault at all. I'm not speaking on their situation at all. That's not what this video is about. This video is about what can you do when you go out of town. I'm just going to say out of town because I'm from a country. Out of town. And I hope it helped you all. If it helped you, if you got anything from this, I know I speak very fast. I will work on that. But if you got anything from it, love, give me some hearts. Also subscribe. I will be coming to you with whatever is on my heart to come to you with. So we won't even say what the next video is going to be about, because I'm still getting to that host video at some point. It'll be out here at some point. But whatever is in my heart to come to you with is what we'll talk about. I know I have a few vacations coming up. I want to do a lot of local. I go out of town. I go out of the country most of the time. Those have been my trips. Besides Vegas. Vegas is my happy place. So I do that every couple of years. But this year, I want to do a lot of domestic trips. So you all will see me, go to Charleston and go to the plantation. I want to go back to New Orleans. I just did New Orleans last year, but I want to go back to New Orleans because there's a pharmacy museum. I am a nerd. I started partying young, turned up for many years. Now I want culture. I want good food. I want fun. Now, don't get me wrong. I want good music, but I want daytime brunch, mimosas, champagne wine. I want that type of time. Okay. That's where I'm at in my life. If you there with me, come join me on my trips. Come join me on my channel. We are in these streets on the grown folks tip. Okay. But love, come back and see me later. And tell me what tip did you not know? or what is it, anything that I mentioned that I should have mentioned, talk to me. I talk back. All right, well, you all have a great day. I think I have talked to you all enough. And I just want to say, the streets don't love you, but I do. Talk to you later. Bye.